All right, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, we want to give all praise to the Abanawa, Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shah. That's all praises to the Father, Yahweh, in the name of his Son, Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We're the sons of God, back with another Thursday class today. And the topic of the day we're going to be going into is, did God create all people equal? Right, because that's a topic that a lot of people struggle with in and out the Christian church. But before we get into that topic, you know what I'm saying, we want to touch on a few things that have been going on in the news lately. Like you got these celebrities that's in Hollywood. A lot of these celebrities, the Lord been, you know what I'm saying, taking them back to the spirit world. You had Isaiah Osborne, I think that's the Edomite name. Isaiah Osborne. You had Hulk Hogan that just passed away. And you had, you know what I'm saying, one of our own nation. You had Malcolm Jamal Warner. You know what I'm saying, that just passed away. Who, you know what I'm saying, most known for his acting on the Cosby Show. I think his name was Theo Huxtable on the Cosby Show. Yeah, I think his name was Theo Huxtable. And back then, man, if you wasn't around back then to watch those black TV shows, man, those when we had positive black TV shows on during those times, man. Like you said, the Cosby Show had things like, you know what I'm saying, Martin Lawrence Show, had things like, you know what I'm saying, a different world in with the living single. You had a lot of good positive things, you know what I'm saying, how they were portraying our people, you know what I'm saying, in Hollywood back then. But now, you know what I'm saying, they only portray our men as being thugs, gang bangers, or drug dealers, and they only portray our women in these TV shows and in these movies as being ratchet 304s, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what they trying to push on our nation and our community now. But back then, it was good TV shows going on. But I want to touch on these celebrities that's been, you know what I'm saying, passing on, going back to the spirit world, because I know a lot of our people probably think, man, you know what I'm saying, when you die, you either go to heaven or hell. But according to the Bible, when you die, really, no matter what nation you come from, your spirit goes back to the Lord. So we're going to touch on that scripture right there just to back up what we just said. So bring that out in Ecclesiastes 12, verse 7 up.
God. You said Ecclesiastes 12 or 7, right?
Yeah, come on.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it.
That's right, man. So then the dust, our body, physical body was created of the dust of the ground, according to Genesis, the second chapter. We know that's twofold. When they say, you know what I'm saying, he created Adam of the dust of the ground. That's what we was physically created. Mankind was physically created from the dust of the ground, but that was also him choosing that Adam out of the lowest state and raising him up and making him Lord on the earth. But it said, then shall the dust return to the earth, meaning what? When our body physically die, our body goes to the earth, the ground, the grave, which when you read in the scripture is called hell. It's not referring to a physical place like they teach you in Christianity. They got from Greek mythology, that your body that you go to after you die, and you burn and you torch forever. That when our forefathers thought of hell, they was referring to that mythological place right there. They was referring to your body just being put in the ground or in the grave. So these men that just passed on, their bodies went back to the grave, and their spirit went back up to the Most High, and they're at rest until the Lord decided to send them back on the earth. You know what I'm saying? It's a cycle of things. Regeneration or reincarnation, whatever term you want to use for, is biblical. You do not go to hell and burn forever. And when you die, you go to the ground. Your body goes back up to the Father who gave it, and you're at rest. And let's bring that out in the book of Job. Man, if you got something you want to add, you can add it out. Let's go into the book of Job to prove that too, that you're at rest when you die. And you go back to the spirit world. All nations are at rest, no matter if you're an Israelite, no matter if you're an Edomite, no matter if you're a Hamite, whatever nation you come from. When your body physically dies and you buried in that ground, you go back to the spirit where you are at rest. And you're gonna prove that with Job chapter 3. You got something bringing out.
Did you have that Hebrews 9 up?
Oh, you can bring it out. If I had it or not, you can bring it out, man. Out the spirit, man.
Book of Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27. And it says, and as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. Right, man. So, you come back on this earth, man. You die once, you go back for the Most High, man. As August brought out, your spirit goes back to the spirit world, and you go back to the Most High that gave it, man. Then come into judge, man. For whatever you did in this body, man, your past life or whatever, man, you judge, and then you sent back to this earth, man, to live out that judgment. As the Ock just brought out, man, there's no place called hell, man, that you go and burn forever, man. That's a Greek, Roman fairy tale there, man. You know, your body goes to the grave, back to the dust, and your spirit goes to the Most High that gave you. So, man, I remember it, man. But we've lived multiple lifetimes. All these celebrities who just passed away, guess what, man? They passed away several times. You know what I'm saying? Then they went before the Most High, and then they came back out here to live out their judgment. Then whatever judgment was given out to them is that took them back to the spirit world. Is the judgment that was handed out when they went back the Most High the last time, man. And
right.
Whether you Israelite, whether you Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, or whatever, man, when you pass away, everybody goes back. Everybody's spirit goes back before the throne. The book of Job, chapter
3. Yeah, start at verse you can start at verse 10.
All right. This is the book of Job, chapter 3, verse 10. Because it shut up not the doors of my mother's womb, nor hid sorrow from my eyes. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly?
So this is Job right here, man. He basically wishing he would, you know what I'm saying? Time he came out his mother's womb, he wishing he would have gone ahead and went back to the spirit world. And that proves right now, man, that you're not going to a physical place called hell. Because if you wishing and praying that you would have gone ahead and just, you know what I'm saying, got taken back to the spirit world, how is that ahead? How is you going to burn forever, man? You're not going to burn forever. He wanted to go back to the spirit world. Why? Because you're at rest. As we're gonna continue to explain in this chapter. So continue on out.
Come, verse 12. Why did the knees prevent me, or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I have slept. I should have slept. Then had I been at rest. So as the Ock was going into, you know, Joe was asking, man, you know, how come he basically was it stillborn, man? You know what I'm saying? Because if he's going back to the spirit world, man, he had been at rest. Because it's here in this life, man. When you come back on earth, that's when you got to deal with what, man? You got to deal with the problems of life, man. You got to deal with bills. You got to deal with you know, health problems. You got to deal, you know, being a provider, everything, especially if you're a so-called Israelite, man, Black, Hispanic, Native American, man. The world is already against you, man. Whereas when you go back to the spirit world, bro, you ain't got to deal with these none of these problems, man. You ain't got no issues, man. Nobody's oppressing you on that side. You ain't got to deal with you know, how you gonna pay the bills, you know, going back to the plantation, none of this stuff, man. So Job's asking, how come he didn't give up the ghost basically at birth, man? How could he wasn't stillborn, so he could have went back to the spirit world?
Let me bring out this precept, this the book. To go along with everything you just said, man. When you born in this world, man, you especially, you know what I'm saying, our people, because we're born into what? We're not born in our kingdom right now, man. We're born in the kingdom of the other nations ruling over us, man. So we got to worry about being oppressed. Like I brought out, man, we got to worry about sickness. We got to worry about we losing the people we love. We got to worry about all these trials and tribulations while we're here on this earth. And when you leave this earth, you go back, then you at rest. You don't have to worry about all these things that you have to worry about while you're here on this earth. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 40, verse 1. They say, great travail is created for every man, and a heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam, from the day that they go out of their mother's womb to the day that they return to the mother of all things. Their imaginations of things to come in the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart. Right, man. So when you hear, man, you troubling, you know what I'm saying? You wake up every day, man. You don't know if this could be the last day. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, you know what I'm saying, decide to call your spirit back or not, especially when it comes to our people, man. We can get pulled over by the police. You know what I'm saying? Get pulled over by the police for a busted tail light or anything like that. Spin the driver license. This thing, no, you know what I'm saying? Your life is taken away from you. I was watching in the news the other day, man. This cop pulled this college student over, man. This black college student over. And tried to say he had smell marijuana in the car, whatever. His girlfriend was in the car with him, so he told him to step out of the car. So they got out of the car, man, and somehow something, I don't know what transpired doing that, but he shot the dude in the back, and now the family is asking for the footage to be released, but it happened in Alabama, I think, up towards the Birmingham area. His family is asking for the footage to be released, but they won't release the footage because they say they still investigating and still reviewing it. But his girlfriend said what the cop said in his interview and his testimony was false. Because then he tried to say he had the young brother pulled a weapon out on him and everything, and they had a weapon in his hand. So the cop said he feared for his life. That's why he took him. But the girl, the brother that passed away, that had his life taken, his girlfriend is saying, man, something totally different, man. So we're gonna see how that goes. But that's just showing you, man, when it comes to our people, we constantly have to worry about, you know what I'm saying, the imagination of the devil. We constantly in fear, man. Just waking up, just trying to go to work, trying to go to school, trying to go about your day-to-day life. And one of these, you know what I'm saying, devils just, you know what I'm saying, in the mood to take a black person's life, they take it, man, because why they look at us and we're, you know what I'm saying, we're beneath them. And we're gonna go into the topic later on and show actually we are above and we are above all nations. Okay, so then it says verse 3. It say, from him that sitteth on the throne of glory unto him that humble in earth and ashes, from him that weareth purple and a crown unto him that is clothed with fine linen, with a linen frock, wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death and anger and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed, his night sleep do change his knowledge. A little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep, as in a day of keeping watch, trouble in the vision of his heart, and as he will escape out of a battle. So even when we go to sleep, man, you not at rest, man. You troubled in your dreams, man. And then just knowing the fact, man, you come home from a long day of work or whatever, you just get hardly no rest. You go to sleep, you got to get back up and do it all over again. So when we go back into the spirit world, these are the things we don't have to deal with no more. We're at rest, like you said, to the Lord sends our spirit back on the earth. But you can go back to that Job.
Hey, let me just bring this out in 1 Samuel 2, man. It's still one of our forefathers, man, who was brought back from his rest, man. Just to show that we were at rest, man. 1 Samuel 8. I'm sorry, verse 4, man. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly troubled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, Seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, Behold, there is a woman that has a familiar spirit at Endor. Let me skip down, man. Skip down to I'm gonna skip down to verse 10. And Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, As the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Then the woman said, Whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, Bring me Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice, and the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw God descending out of the earth. And he said to her, What form is he of? And she said, An old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel. And he stooped his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered. So basically, Samuel was at rest, man. He was asking basically why Saul disturbed his rest, man. He was in the spirit world. He wasn't worried about the stuff that Saul was asking about, man, with regards to the Philistines coming up against. Why, man? You don't have no worries over there, man. You ain't worried about what's going on inside, man. Samuel wasn't worried about that, man. So he was asking Saul why he disturbed his rest, man.
Continue reading too, Uncle. Let's see what he's gonna tell Saul later on in that chapter.
Verse 15.
Right here gonna prove too that like we saying, there ain't no mythological place called hell.
Verse 15. And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines made war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more. neither by prophets, nor by dreams. Therefore have I called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. Then said Samuel, wherefore then dost thou ask me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy? And the Lord has done to him, and the Lord has done to him as he spake by me. For the Lord
let me explain too, man. Because the reason why the Lord stopped answering Saul, man, because Saul was rebellious when the Lord told him to go out there and smite all Amalek into, you know what I'm saying, destroy all. He didn't do it. He kept the king alive. So he rebelled against the word of the Lord. And the Lord said, well, rebellion is at the sin of witchcraft, man. So the Lord stopped dealing with Saul. He took his spirit, because Saul was a man of the Lord at first. The Lord was with Saul, man. But when Saul disobeyed the Lord's word, then he started being jealous and envious toward King David. That's why I say, man, that jealous and envious spirit, man, those are demons, man. And the Lord is not dealing with nobody that's running around here and jealous and envious of another person, man. And you know what I'm saying? We call them what, haters, man. That's all you is. So when Saul started becoming a hater of King David, the Lord took his spirit from Saul and let no demons get on Saul. So the Lord, so now Saul, who had once got rid of the you know what I'm saying, the witches. Now he's going to seek to the witches to try to get some type of answer, because the Lord wasn't answering. But continue on now.
Verse 17. And the Lord has done to him as he spake by me. For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyedest not the voice of the Lord, nor executed his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel to the hand of the Philistines. So
right, so that's the part, you know what I'm saying, we want to write down. He's telling Saul that tomorrow him and his son were going to be with him. Now, if you die and go to hell, heaven or hell, when you die, wasn't Samuel? Samuel was a righteous man. Wasn't he a man of the Lord? So how he telling Saul, who came wicked and became, you know what I'm saying, unrighteous and breaking God's commandment? Not Saul. Samuel is telling Saul he was going to be with him. So where is Saul? Where is Saul going? Is he going to heaven, where Samuel should be at, or he's going to where y'all think of hell is? And ain't no way Samuel would be in hell if he was a righteous man of the Lord. So that right there proving he was saying tomorrow you and your son are gonna be with me. Meaning what? You coming back to the spirit world. Your body's going back to hell, which is just in the ground, in the grave, and your spirit is coming back to the Lord who gave. You want to elaborate some more on that out?
I can't. I mean, you brought it up, man. You said, man, Samuel, who's a man of the Lord, a prophet of the Lord, man, he wasn't down in a fiery hell nowhere, man. So if he's saying Saul and his sons are going to be with him, obviously Samuel is in the spirit world, so he's with the Lord, man, where his spirit went back to, man. So that just proved right here, man, is cut, you know, that just sliced that hell doctrine in half, man. God, man, you know, obviously, man, when they instituted that, man, that was basically to maintain control over the people, man.
Right, fear tactics they use.
Yeah. You got to back up.
Cause man, welcome on, man. You got anything you want to say? Elaborate on, man. Go ahead, my brother.
Hey, shalom.
Shalom up.
Yeah, so you guys are absolutely right. That hell doctrine, that's the craziest thing, man. Cause how you gonna go look, Sheol means the grave, or lowest state. Hell is the lowest state or the grave. Now that other stuff that they came up with is Greek mythology, based on Hades, the underworld, and all that stuff. And that's the only for the underworld, that's the word they had, Hades, because they was based on their stuff. So when you when you transliterate from Hebrew to Greek, you get stuff like that, and that's how the doctrine changed.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, man, because Yahweh Shah was not going around in the New Testament teaching teaching people that they were gonna go to a Greek god, the Greek god Hades, man. He was not going around teaching his nation of people there right there. And no prophet in the Bible was going around teaching they people that they were going to the Greek God hated upon the earth. Like I just brought out, man, those were fear tactics used in the Christian church, man, to keep their people under control, man. So that's why when you first come into this truth, man, you're Israelite, you repent, man. Ain't no way any Israelite council should still be using those same type of fear tactics on their people or their congregation, but a lot of them do, man, because they try to make it seem like, oh, read the truth. If you leave our camp, you ain't in the truth no more, and you're gonna go to hell and burn forever, man. Nobody's gonna go to a place where they burning for all eternity, man. That's just not that's not nowhere in the Bible, man. All those things are fables, come from Greek mythology, and all that. Our forefathers never taught about an eternal place of fire that our souls are just gonna be burning on fire forever. That's not scripture. That's not biblical, man. That's Greek mythology. So you continue on in the book of Job.
Salaki. That's why I want to say, when you come into this truth, man, you have to forget everything you was taught and start with, man. So it's like 2 Ezra 14:34. Therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death you shall obtain mercy. So you have to subdue your own understanding before you come into this truth and be retaught again. That's all being born again. When Yahweh Shai said you must needs be born again, that's what he's talking about. You gotta subdue your own understanding and start over in this truth.
Right.
So you got it back.
You go back to that Job up. Finish that up.
This is the book of Job, chapter 3, and verse 13. For now should I have lain still and been quiet, I should have slept. Then had I been at rest with the kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as a hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infants which never saw light. There the wicked cease from trouble, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master.
Yeah, that's it, man. So that's what when you die, Job is explaining you what it's like in the spirit world. You go there, you don't have to worry about no tribulations. You don't have to worry. The servant is free from his master. So guess what, man? Malcolm Jamal Warner, now he's free. He's free from his master, man. He's free from these Edomites, man. You know what I'm saying? All this, like you said, we working these 9-to-5 jobs, man. You know what I'm saying? Barely getting any rest, barely making enough to pay our bills, and you know what I'm saying, take care of our family, man. We don't have to worry about those. You don't have to worry about those things no more when you're in the spirit world. You're at rest. That's why the people used to always use the phrase "rest in peace." Why? Because when you go back in the ground, your spirit go back to the Father. You're resting in peace. But while you're on this earth, this is where you're catching hell. Like, we in hell, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're in hell right here on this earth, man. This is hell. This is what the devil is torturing us at. And the devil's a deceiver, man. Deceive all these Edomites, man. You know what I'm saying? These so-called Caucasians, they're the devil that's tormenting us and giving us hell right here on this earth, man. This is hell for our people. So, but now, you know what I'm saying, we're going to go into what the topic of the class is about. Did God create all people to be equal, man? First thing, Isaiah. Go ahead.
Just to bring out what you were just talking about, man. Like, everything that they taught us about was going to be happening to us in so-called hell, right? And being in the underground, being roasted over a fire, and being poked with a pitchfork and all that shit. I mean, who did that to us right here on earth? Esau. Was he not burning us alive, man? Was he not, putting us in a pot of boiling water, man, using that pitchfork? He was doing that, man. So dog just brought out, man. That's the devil that did these things to us, man. We right here on hell on this earth, man. We've been tortured right here on earth, man. Every day, every time you turn on the news, you hear about some Israelite man, being, abused by these devils, man. So that's who's torturing us, man, and that's who tortured the hell doctor. Because think about it, man. Back in the day, when you were his actual property, he had doing his plantation, man. He wanted to put that fear in you, man, because trying to escape the hell that you were going through on earth. So he had to give you something to make you afraid so that you didn't go try to take your own life, because it's going to be even greater hell that he convinced you of if you did. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he instituted that fear doctrine, man, to keep you in line. And he used the church, man, to do it, man. Because that's where it's taught to us at, the cell doctrine. Cut it back up.
Perfect, man. Yeah, that's what a lot of our people learn a lot of these false doctrines at, man, from the wicked Christian church, man. That was you know what I'm saying? Like you say, our people, our ancestors were forced to go to church on Sundays back when they had us in chains, man. They was forced to do that, man. Our people wasn't waking up here every Sunday want to go sit up in the church, you know what I'm saying, man? That was beat into our people, man. Now our people, what we did, we passed that false religion down from generation to generation, man. And now we're here and we're destroyed through all these different false doctrines that was installed in our people all the way back then when we was on the plantation, man. So we're here, as you know what I'm saying, the Lord woke us up. So we're here to try to, you know what I'm saying, cast down all these false doctrines and destroy them. And we doing it with what, man? We doing it with the word of the Lord, man. Like Kazak brought out in the past Sabbath class, man. We can read now, man. You know what I'm saying? Back then we couldn't, you know what I'm saying, the slave that could read, they kept them away from the slave that couldn't read. So we were brought up being ignorant, man. We were brought up having to listen to what they was teaching us in them churches, man, and installing in us. But now we can actually open the book and read and see all the things that they was teaching us on them plantations were a bunch of lies, man. So let's bring out Isaiah 8, verse 20. We're going to see, you know what I'm saying, according to the word of the Lord, according to God's word, you know what I'm saying, the Holy Bible, that God create all people equal. So go ahead.
This is book Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Right, to the law and to the testimony, man. To the law, to the Torah, first 5 books of Moses, and to the testimony, to the writings of the prophets, man. So we speak, you know what I'm saying? We got to speak according to thus saith the Lord. We got to speak according to what's written in the Bible. We can't speak according to our feelings, according to our emotions. We got to go with thus saith the Lord. And like the Bible says, let God be true and every man alike. If a man comes speaking and teaching you something and he can't go into the Bible to back it up, it ain't no light in him, man. And that light, Proverbs 6:23 represents what? Commandments, and the commandments are the truth. So he's speaking something outside what the Torah and the prophets say, it ain't no truth in him. So now let's get Deuteronomy 7, verse 6. Now this precept right here, this scripture right here says, hey, we can close the book right here, man. This kills everything about the Lord creating all nations of people equal. All this one verse right here, we can set it down. We don't got to pull out 1,000 more precepts, man. This right here is simple reading comprehension, man. If you can't read and understand, comprehend what this is saying right here, you just need to just put down the Bible, man. Deuteronomy 7, verse 6, man.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. Thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So who are the Lord speaking to? He's speaking to his people, man. The children of Israel said, thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. So when you go into the word holy, and this is another precept to prove that the saints are, you know what I'm saying, only Israelites. Because when you go into that word holy in the Hebrew, it's the same word for saint. So he's speaking to the children of Israel, telling them holy, are telling them they are saints. So read, continue on out.
Verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Man, we can close the book right now, man. We can sit down this class. We just done debunk every thought or every understanding that people got when they think God created all people equal. Off this one verse right here. Anybody say that God created all people equal after we just brought out this, you just don't believe the Bible, man. We're reading it. This ain't a private interpretation, because I dare anybody to read this verse and get any other understanding from this other than what it's saying. That the children of Israel are holy, people unto the Lord, and they are above all people. So if you're above somebody, that means what? You're not equal to them. That means everybody else is beneath you. God created all people. He created his chosen people to be above all nations, created everybody else to be beneath them. But the reason why we're at the bottom now because what we broke God's law, statute, and commandment. That's a curse that befell our people for being disobedient to the word of the Lord. Y'all brothers got anything y'all want to say ahead to that?
Let's back up to verse 1, man, because it even calls 7 other nations, man.
Come.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shall show mercy unto them. So right here, man, he just identified 7 Hamite nations, man, that he's into our hands, man. So if he made all people to be equal, to be great, man, what about these guys who he delivered into our hands that he told us to spite and not make any covenants with them? Verse 3, neither shalt thou make marriages with them, thy daughter, nor thy daughter shall not.
I think you got a lot of static going on because
Verse 3, neither shalt thou make marriages with them, thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. So he's not wanting us to even like interact, engage, have nothing to do with these guys, man, as far as the marriages or whatever. So if we all the same, if he made us all the same, then why would he be telling us to basically abstain from doing these things with these 7 nations that he just called out? They delivered it to the hands and told us to spite. In other words, destroy, kill them, man. So how is it that he made all people to be equal if he's telling us to do these things? And then I called out in verse 6, man, for thou art an holy people, meaning we're set apart unto the Lord thy God. Lord thy God have chosen thee. So he chose Israel, man. He ain't chose no other people. Like Doc said, we can just close the book, man, because the Most High's words speak for itself, man. So the fact that somebody can even read this and still try to say that all people God created the same, it's like, what Bible are you reading out of, man? Because you definitely ain't reading out the same Bible, man. But what it is, our people like to go to those watered down, translated versions, man, like the ESV and all that stuff, man, where they take and they remove verses out of the Bible, change meaning of the words, they try to make it universal. Is what they like to do, man. But here in the King James Version, in the Bible, man, God said he made us to be separate or holy, man, or holy people unto the Lord thy God. He's talking to Israel, no other nation. You got
that's right. You had something you want to say, Kazak?
Just like I thought just what the Ox said, I brought that out in the last class with the ESV and the KJV. How they try to make that play on words. Like it's been said, legally it's correct, but it just come out different, right? Like grammatically, legally, you could say that, but it's not the proper understanding. It don't give you the proper understanding.
All right, man. I'm gonna bring out this Psalms 106 too, to show you. Like I just brought out when you went to the first verse and you read on down when the Lord told us to destroy those Canaanite nations. And the Lord was specifically at that time talking about those 7 Canaanite nations, because I know a lot of people try to teach that that's talking about all nations. They taking this stuff out of context. Yeah, we shouldn't marry these other nations. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be wise to marry these other nations. But the Lord was specifically talking about those 7 Canaanite nations in that verse right there. But when we went into the land of Canaan, guess what we did? We did the exact opposite of what the Lord said do. I'm gonna prove it. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 106, verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them. What we just read will command us to destroy those 7 Canaanite nations in Deuteronomy the 7th chapter, but we didn't do it. And it say, but were meager among the heathen and learned their works. And that's what happened to us, man. We went up in there, we didn't destroy all of them. We allowed some of them to stay and dwell amongst us, and we started learning their works. We started learning how to serve their guys and worship their guys. And that's why we're in the condition that we're in now. That's why we're at the bottom instead of being the top nation on the earth now, because we want to be like and follow all these other nations. And that happened no matter what nation we go amongst, man. Whatever nation we be around and we mingling with, guess what we started to do? we started to learn their works and their ways and serve their God. That's why, again, that's why our people in the church every Sunday now serving these Edomite guys, man. Caesar born sure. Who they call Jesus Christ. When you go to church on Sunday, Wednesday, whatever day you go to church, you in the church serving your oppressor God, man. If you in the Muslim mosque, guess who you serving? You serving the Arabs God, who was once your oppressor too. How you think you learn to be a Muslim? You learned that from Arabs. That was time when our people become Muslims. You know what I'm saying? What do it happen at when they go to prison, man? They go to prison, they come out of prison. Not a Muslim, man. No, man, we got to come out of these ways of serving these other our oppressive guys and come back to the one true God, so we can get the hell up out of here and go back to our own land, man. And this is verse 36. It's saying they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yeah, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and their daughters whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Right, man. So we sacrificing our own children to these Canaanite guys, man. We polluted our land, the land of Israel. Speaking about the land of Israel, you know what I'm saying? We polluted that land by doing all this wickedness, by serving all these false gods, these false idols, and that's why the Lord uprooted us up out of that land and sent us into captivity. But let's get the book of Amos chapter 3. I'll go ahead.
Let me bring out this Proverbs 3:31, man. Let's go along. Go ahead. This book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31 says, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways," man. So here in Babylon, man, who's our oppressor, man? Esau, Edom. And the Bible just told us not to choose none of his ways, man. What are his ways, man? Serving Caesar Borgia, Christianity, man.
Right.
Learn that from. That's how we learn to be, these various denominations, whether it be Baptist, whether it be Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists, Mormon, all this other stuff that they got us in, man. We learned that from our oppressor, man. We didn't know about being no damn Mormon, no damn Baptist, Christian, or whatever, man. Back in our land before we brought over here, man. Our oppressor taught us that, and just like the Ox said, because there was we were taken to captivity too, man, by those Arabs. So over there, man, what did we learn, man? We learned to be Muslims, man. We learned their ways, man. That's the ways of our forefathers, man. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and that's definitely not what the Most High told us to do, man. The Most High told us to abstain from learning their ways, man. But our people love the ways of the heathen, man. The Most High separated us from them, man. We're not supposed to be doing the things that they do. Their things are contrary to the laws of God, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why they heavily push homosexuality and everything over here in Babylon, man. Those ways are contrary to the laws of God, man. We're not supposed to be learning those ways, man. That's why I think it was Gideon I was talking about, man, about the Moabites and Chinese, man. They basically banning TikTok, man. Not TikTok, but man, what's that? OnlyFans. They banning that from their country, man. Why? Because they don't want their women in their country growing up to be whores like our women, man. We think OnlyFans is used for. They want to keep that away from their country, man. Because all this wickedness we learn over here in Babylon, in America, man. That's why we're supposed to come out of her, man. Obviously, we can't do it physically, man. We're supposed to come out of her ways, come out of her religion, come out of her politics, and eventually the 1/3 gonna come out and go up on those chariots, man. So back over to you, Walt.
Yeah, I just want to bring out this book, man, just to go back over everything we saying about how people, became Muslims. You know what I'm saying? This is a good book right here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should know this book, From Babylon to Timbuktu by with the author named Rudolph R. Winslow. Yeah. So this is page 50. It say in the year 627, the battle of the Fars occurred. The Jewish tribes were defeated by the armies of Muhammad. 700 Jews were gathered in the marketplace and offered the alternative, the Quran or the sword. So that's what they did, man. The Arabs did the same thing that these Edomites did, man. They forced us. We was either gonna get put to death, get unalive, or we had to convert to being Muslim, man. Same thing these damn Edomites did, these Caucasians did when they came over here to the indigenous people of this land, man. In order for them to stay alive, in order for them to allow them to continue to live, they had to do what? They had to accept Christianity, man. Same thing they did when they came and got us, started coming to get the bulk of us from the shores of West Africa. They did what? They gave us either the sword, we either accepted the sword or Christianity. It's showing you that these two main religions that our people are in is because we ain't have a lot of our ancestors back then, they had no choice. In order to survive, in order to stay alive, they had to accept this false religion that was being forced on them by the people that conquered and defeated and was oppressing them. But now we have a choice. Now you're not being forced to go to church on Sunday. Now you're not being forced to be a damn Muslim. Now people just willfully, you know what I'm saying, go on serving these false gods now, man. But let's go to Amos chapter 3, verse 1.
Okay, the book of Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Now it says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. So does that mean the Lord did not know these other nations? That mean these other nations just came out of nowhere? He don't know where they came from. No, when it said you only have I known me, what? You're the only nation that I'm dealing with. You're the only nation that I chose. You're the only nation that I love. You're the only nation that I gave my laws, statutes, and commandments to. And since you're the only nation that I'm dealing with on that level, that's why we're being punished, man. That's why when you look at these other nations, you know what I'm saying? They can do everything they want, anything they want to do. But they don't get punished like how we get punished. Until we are delivered and brought back into our land and brought back into the bond of the new covenant, then these other nations are gonna get their judgment. But if y'all got anything y'all want to add on that?
Kind of just bring out what you were talking about, man, about, you know, we're the only people they gave his law, statutes, commandments to, man. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, and verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statute and judgment unto Israel. Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So just going back what Doc said, man. He gave his statutes, law, statutes, commandments to Israel, man. He didn't give it to any other nation of people, man. We don't people, of course he made them, obviously, but we're the only nation that he chose, man. We're the only nation that he chose to say that he was our power, man. Nations, what did he do, man? He gave the stars, the moon, sun, all that for them to worship as idols. You know what I'm saying? But for us, man, he came out and identified himself as being the power of Jacob, man. He didn't choose people, man. And it's going to be that way. It was that way from the beginning, man. And it's going to be that way in the kingdom, too. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, man, other nations are going to be in the kingdom, but what are their jobs going to be? Their jobs going to be serving Israel, man. Serving the and the Israelites that are ruling beneath them, man. That's going to be their position, man. So how is it they chose all people? And that's one of the things our people don't like to accept, man. Because even though we've gone through the things we've gone through and we continue to go through it here in America, man, the Most High never told us to forgive these heathens for the things they've done to us, man. The only people that he told us to forgive, man, when the Bible goes into forgiving your neighbor, man, it's talking about forgiving your fellow Israelites, man. And that's if they come to you and ask you for forgiveness. It's not talking about forgiving the other nations, man. Hell, they put us through and continue to put us through, man. So he didn't choose all people. And their time is almost up, man. Their time of having their foot on our necks is almost up, man. Oppressing us is almost up. And they know that. That's why they speeding up the things and they trying to they doing the things they doing now, man, because they know their time is almost up.
That's right.
Con, to add to that, man, about that, the nation of Israel is the one he chose and not all the other nations. I'm going to go to the additions of Esther, chapter 10, start at verse 9. And my nation is this Israel, which cried to God and were saved. For the Lord hath saved his people, and the Lord hath delivered us from all those evils. And Yahweh hath wrought signs and great wonders, which have not been done among the Gentiles. So he did all this stuff for Israel. When we came out of Egypt, he did those things. In the time of Esther, he did those things. and he did those things all throughout the book of Joshua and Judges. He did all those things for the nation of Israel. Verse 10. Therefore, he hath made 2 lots, one for the people of God and another for all the Gentiles. And so he made 2. It's 2 different lots. We got our lot, and all the rest of the world got their lot.
These
2 lots came at the hour and time and judgment before God amongst all nations. And that's what he said. Yahushua is gonna come back and divide the nations, and he's gonna put the sheep on the right hand and the goats on the left, right? So that's all I got. He made that distinction that there's 2 different lots. So it ain't no way it's gonna be equal because they got 1 lot and we got a whole nother lot.
Right. Perfect. Man, let's get this law, man. Deuteronomy 23 verse 19 to verse 19 and 20. Show you, man, if all nations was equal, why would it be certain laws like this given to our people in the Bible? If all nations were created equal. Deuteronomy 23 verse 19 and 20.
I got you.
Book of Deuteronomy. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all thou settest thine hand to do in the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Come, man. So if all nations were created equal, why were we given this law? That's like usury mean basically interest. How these people do us? We go to these loan companies and stuff like that. You best believe you coming there, they see you black, your interest rate what you pay on that loan is gonna be higher than a so-called white person. That's like, for instance, if Kazaa or Ezekiel borrow $100 from me, guess what? All I'm supposed to do according to the law is get that $100 back. They ain't supposed to put no interest on what they other than what they borrow from me. But if Edomite Hamite Arab come and borrow $100 from me, guess what? I can make them pay me $500 back. I can do that. That's why I sell to a stranger that I made as usually. So I can lend them money and expect to get interest back off that money. But the thing, well, when it comes to my brother, person of my own nation, you can't do that, man. That's why the Lord got different laws on how we dealt with each other and how we dealt on people of the other nations. So all nations were created equal. This law right here wouldn't even exist. There wouldn't even be no need for this law right here. You know what I'm saying? To show a separation from how you can lend money to your brother and how you lend money to a stranger. And this stranger right here, because it's 2. That's what a lot of our people get confused too when they talk about strangers. 2 different sets of strangers when you read the Bible. You got the strangers dealing with the Israelite foreigners, and you got the strangers dealing with the ones of the other nations. And it's 2 different words in the Hebrew and for the word stranger. You can go into that in the book of Exodus when the Lord said about the Passover, about the ordinance of the Passover. And he said a stranger can't eat of the Passover. Then later on, in a couple of verses down, it said if the stranger eat of the Passover. So now if you know what I'm saying, reading that just based off the word stranger, you're gonna get confused. That's why you got to go into the etymology of word in Hebrew to understand those are 2 different strangers. So this stranger right here is speaking about the strangers of the other nation, man. Y'all brothers got anything to add to that? If not,
I'm just gonna
go ahead.
This Isaiah 14.
Oh, go ahead. The
book of Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. So this is future prophecy. And the stranger shall be joined with them, even to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them. Take who? Take those strangers who's going to be cleaving on to us, who are those other nations, and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. This is talking about the other nations who oppressed us, man. It's like the bring out. It's two different definitions for the word stranger. These strangers talk about the other nations right here, man. Guess what? They're not going to be equal to us in the kingdom, man, because we're going to be right. We're going to have a captain. So how is that equality, man? This is when Yahweh Shai, the Son of God, is on the earth, reigning right here, man. So how's the equality with God creating all people equal, man? This right here, just refutes that too. But you got it back up.
Yeah, man. And only thing that supersedes etymology is context, because you got some count that teaches that those strangers right there is talking about the strange Israelite foreigners in that verse. So now you got to deal with the context of the scripture, man. I don't know how they getting that stranger is referring to Israelite foreigners when it said the people should take them and bring them to their place. The them is still talking about the strangers, and we should rule over them. So that let you know that it's referring to the other nation, man. As the art just explained. So let's get Exodus 22 verse 31. Let's get another law on what we as a people can't do, but the other nations can do. Let's get Exodus 22 verse 31.
This book of Exodus chapter 22 verse 31. And you shall be holy men unto me.
So we know the Lord is speaking about Israel. There go that word holy again. Holy means set separate or set apart. Saints. So we should be set apart unto the Lord. We should be separate unto the Lord from these other nations, right? So continue on.
Verse 31. And ye shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beast in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs.
So we can cast it to the dogs, man. And we know who those dogs are talking about, man. Let's get that. Matthew 15, verse 24. Let's see who these dogs are that we can cast these beasts that's torn in the field to. Exodus 22, verse 31. So you know what I'm saying? You going out, man, you see a deer or something like that that's been, you know what I'm saying, unalive by another beast or something like that, man. You can give it to the other nations, but we ourselves, we gotta be holy, separate. We can't eat that as food no more, but we can give it to the other nation. Because the dogs is going into the other nations. We're gonna prove that with Yahweh Shai calling this woman a dog. Matthew 15, verse 24.
Book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs.
Right, come. So he just called this woman, whatever nation you believe she came from. You got some people saying she was a Canaanite. Some people saying she was just a Edomite dwelling in that area. Whatever nation you believe she came from, she's not an Israelite. She's not an Israelite. Then you got some count saying she is an Israelite. They'll say this woman is an Israelite, but the woman in John the 4th chapter who clearly says she's from Jacob, from the lineage of Jacob, they'll say she's not an Israelite. She's a heathen, but this woman right here is Israelite. Why, if this woman is Israelite, first and foremost, why would Yahweh Shai and the disciples ignore her? Why would they be ignoring her? You know, why would the disciples come and say, you know what I'm saying, send her away? And then the Lord, you know what I'm saying, he's trying to turn around and answer her and say, it's not meat, meaning it's not good. All right, it's not right to take the children bread. Who are the children? The children are the Israelites. So why would he tell her it's not right to take what's meant for the children, which are the Israelite, and cast it to the dog? Why would he tell her that if she is an Israelite? Somebody make that make sense, man. You know what I'm saying? It makes absolutely no sense. Showing this woman is a woman of another nation, and Yahweh shall call this woman, this female, he called her a dog. That's what these other nations are to us, man. You know what I'm saying? We are the holy people. These other nations, they are dogs. They are beneath us. They was created to be our servant. That's in the law. We're going to bring that up. Leviticus 25, verse 44 through 46. So we're going to show our people why these other nations were created. Because people might have that question. Well, these other nations, what are they here for? The Lord is only dealing with one nation or one group of people. Why are these other nations on this earth? We're going to get the law and get the purpose of why the Lord created these other nations. Leviticus 25, verse 44.
Book of Leviticus chapter 25, verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou should have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall you buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they beget in your land, and they shall be your possession. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, you should not rule over one over another with rigor.
Break that down real quick. I gotta step away for a second.
Basically, man, other nations, man, we can take and we can use them as basically slaves, man, servants, and we can rule with them over rigor, man, and we can pass them down as possession, man, to our children. But we can't do that same thing with the children of Israel, man. So if we were all created equal, man, then there wouldn't have been that delineation between the heathens, what we're allowed to do with them as far as for maintaining them as servants, bondmen, bondwomen, versus what we can do with our own, man. So there's different laws, man, as to how you're supposed to deal with your own people, man, which is bringing out. So,
Con, and what they get it mixed up, man, with that word stranger. You have to go into it because, like Doc said, it's two different strangers, but it's 6 to 8 different Hebrew words for stranger.
So
they get it twisted. And like the Ox said, context supersedes etymology. So you got to go according to the context of what's going on there, right? But that goes to show you that the Most High meant for Israel to be set above all the nations, because in the law, he has this law where you can take a heathen as a bondman or a bondservant, but child of Israel, you can't treat him oppressively. You got to treat him like an employee, and that's only for 6 years. In the 7th year, you got to let him go out, and in that, a lot of times they paid you at the end of them 6 years so you could go start your own little plot, right? And that was mostly for the children that didn't get a big inheritance. Like, you know how they inherited by lot. Joseph being the oldest got a double portion, and all the other brothers got one portion, right? So that's how Joseph ended up being the oldest brother, because Reuben messed up. So then he went down to his next wife and took the oldest child from that one, right? So that's why Joseph got the double portion. That's why you got Ephraim and Manasseh. So even among Israel, everybody ain't equal. Right. So why would you think the Most High will have Israel equal to all the other nations when even among Israel, everybody ain't equal? Right. The Lord put in charge who he want to put in charge.
That's
the Lord gives to those that he wants to give those to. Right. Why you think even in this country, why you think that we got the president we got right now? Right? It's for the Lord's purpose, man. It's just like the Lord raised up Pharaoh to show his power in him. He rose up Trump to show his power in him. Right? You can't say the Lord don't play that. The Lord choose who he want to choose. He does what he wants to do. You got to.
That's right. Come on, man. And like you said, man, they should be up possessed forever. Like you said, man, we continue to pass them down to our kids, man. And then when our servants have kids, hey, they still our possession. Continue to pass them down from generation to generation. That's how it's going to be in the kingdom, man. They're going to be, of course, they're going to serve that period of time where they serve hardcore bondage. Then they're going to be allowed to go back into their land, but they still going to be subjugated to the children of Israel. And like I said, man, it ain't even no equality when it comes amongst our own nation, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did the Lord tell the 12 apostles, man? They're going to sit on the 12 thrones, judging the tribes of Israel, man. They're going to be top rank in the kingdom, man. The 12 apostles. Then you're going to have the rest of the 144,000. Then you're going to have just regular men and women in the kingdom. There's always an order when you deal with the Lord. And most people, man, like the art said, man, the Lord put who he wants in charge. He put who he wants in the position that they're in. Don't nobody just that go for the people who be seeking to try to be up in the authority, power type of position. Because you got a lot of brothers who come into this truth too, who try to just seek to try to be up, you know what I'm saying, on some type of level. You ain't even put in that work like that yet. Just stay humble and do the work. And the Lord see fit, and He wants you in a position like that. He gonna put you in a position, but don't be seeking to put in to be in that position because too much is given, much is respected. You're gonna be held at a higher standard now, and the Lord ain't gonna be nice if you start going on. Look, like I said, man, I hate what happened to the brother. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta mention his name. We know what I'm talking about. How the Lord did, you know what I'm saying, brought him down, man. How the Lord shamed him and brought his sin out for the you know what I'm saying, for the nation to see. You know what I'm saying, man? I hate that because I hate seeing anybody, you know what I'm saying, be brought down like that. Because the brother brought out some great edification. The brother been in, since he been in the truth, he have been doing some great works for the Lord, man. But when you living that double life, and then now you already at a position, you the top ranked man in a big congregation like he had, and then you doing wickedness behind closed doors, being a hypocrite, the Lord will bring you down, man. That's why most men, they don't seek to be in them high positions like that, because we know what comes with it, man. But now let's get 2nd Ezra 6 verse 54. Let's see how the Lord feel about these other nations. 2nd Ezra 6 verse 54, and then get to Isaiah. After this, get to Isaiah 40 verse 15 through 17.
Book 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 54. And after thee, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people.
Right.
Also.
So everybody that's on this earth now, we all come from that specific Adam, that chosen Adam. Because after the flood, you had who? You had Noah, his three sons, right? And their wives. They're to populate the rest of the earth. So all nations that's on this earth now come from that specific chosen Adam. Go ahead,
Come. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
And we don't already showed you who the people that have been chosen. Deuteronomy 7 verse 6, and there's plenty more other scriptures that we can bring out to prove all throughout the Bible the chosen people, the children of Israel. And in no other verse you will read, well, Lord chose another nation of people to be His people. So continue on now.
Verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
That go to show you again, man. The world and everything again was made for God's chosen people. The world was made for His Son to rule and be king on the earth, and the rest of the nations to rule under His Son. That's what the world was made for. The world was not made for all nations of people to be in rulership. Their job, and we brought out in Leviticus 25th chapter, their job is to serve us. That's what they was created for. The world and everything in it was made for all people, Blacks, Spanish, and Native Americans. So continue on now.
Verse 56. As for the other people,
as for the Hamite, as for the Edomites, as for the Arabs, as for the East Indians, as for the other people, go ahead.
As for other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falls from a vessel. Verse 57.
That's it, man. So the Lord not go bring out Isaiah 40 verse 15, because we finna see what the Lord said they are nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people try to say, well, that's in the Apocrypha. You can't show me that in the King James, not knowing the so-called Apocrypha was originally in the King James Bible before it was removed. But for Christians who don't study and don't know that, we finna go out the book of Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, show you he's saying the same thing. The Lord said these other nations are nothing like spittle, man. The Lord is comparing these nations that's ruling over us right now. These people that got authority, that got power over us. The Lord said these nations are spittle unto Him, man. You know, so that's how the Lord feel about these other nations. He don't give a damn about these other nations. They like a drop that fall from a vessel. You know, if you got a big old vessel of water and a little drop fall out that vessel of water, are you gonna be sad or depressed or hurt that you got this big vessel of water and a little drop? So you ain't gonna be studying that drop. That's how the Lord feel about these other nations. And we're going to go to the book of Isaiah. He's saying the same thing Idris saying. So Isaiah 40, verse 15 through 17.
This book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as small as the balance, as Salaki, and are counted as small as the dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as their little thing, and Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing; they are counted to him less than nothing.
So it said all nations are as nothing; they're counted less than nothing. Now, how low can you get? The Lord said, "Man, you less than nothing. What is less than nothing? How can you be less than nothing?" But that's how the Lord feel about these other nations. Again, proving all nations are not equal. Man. These other nations created. The Lord can care less about these nations. So y'all brothers got anything y'all want to add with that?
Hey man, go back to 15 where it says, "And are counted as the small dust of the balance." If you know how sensitive a balance is, and the dust on it that don't even affect that balance, that's what he's talking about. Like the small dust that don't even affect the balance, right? That's it's less than nothing in vanity. That's exactly what he's talking about.
That's right. Yeshaya, you got anything you want to say, man?
Nah.
All right. Now let's get Romans chapter 9, verse 13. We get Romans chapter 9, verse 13. Let's see if everybody created equal. Why would the Bible say this right here? Romans chapter 9, verse 13.
This book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
So it said, Jacob have I loved, as it is written. Where is it written at? In the book of Malachi. That's where the Apostle Paul is quoting from. Say, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Now, regardless of who you think Esau is, because that ain't what this class is about, dealing with who Esau is. Even though we know him to be who the world calls the Caucasian race today, but whoever you think Esau is, whatever nation you think he is, the Lord hates this specific nation. So how you get that? How do you get that God created all people equal when he sit up here telling you right here that he hated a whole nation of people? Let's bring it out at Malachi 1. I give Malachi 1.
Book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob.
Hey, so like that's funny right there too. But that sounds like our people today. Who do we always ask about? When we out there, we teaching our people, man, the Lord love you. He love these people on this side right here. These are his chosen people. But the first nation we ask about, our brother Esau, the so-called white man. Hey, what the white man now? How the Lord feel about the white man? Our people had that same mentality right here, man. Lord say, hey, what about our brother Esau? Same thing our people say today. What about the so-called white man? Because we don't worry about no other nation. We don't. When we look at that, they look at that 12 tribe chart, and we tell our people, "These are God's chosen people." They care less about Arabs, right? They care less about not seeing no Chinese man on there. They care less about not seeing no damn Japanese, Koreans, or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Hawaiians. They don't care about that. First thing they notice is the so-called white man not being on their list, and that's where all the problem comes. That's where all the backlash comes from our people, because our people always want to be attached and want our brother, because he is our brother, but we always want to bring him along with us, and we always want to be equal. We want to love on the so-called white people, the main people who are oppressing us to this day. We continue on now.
And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
So he said he laid his mount and his heritage. So it ain't just talking about the one man Esau, talking about his heritage too. And what's a part of his heritage? His descendants, his lineage. He said he laid his whole heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And you continue on to verse 4.
Whereas Edom saith, We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
And that explains it all, man. It said the people, again, showing you, it's not talking about the one man Esau, talking about the people, the race, the nation of Esau. And when did they return, man? They returned during the Renaissance era. They started, you know what I'm saying, going throughout the earth, conquering, building up their cities, taking over land. That's when they turn, that's when they build the desolate place. But the Lord is going to throw them down when he's saying, well, when is your house shot and the angels come, the Lord is going to destroy everything that they ever built, and then they're going to make them, along with the other nations, build up our kingdom. And the Lord said he has indignation, meaning with righteous anger, righteous judgment forever against this nation of people. That's why you read the book of Obadiah. It said, you know what I'm saying, there should be none remaining of the house of Esau. Why? Because the Lord got indignation with these people forever. So after that hardcore bondage, after that period of time that they serve in the kingdom, the Lord is going to do away with the whole nation of Esau or Edom. Any of y'all brothers got anything y'all want to say?
Yeah, man. We talking about the Edomites and us loving them Edomites so much that's a ongoing thing. During the time of Herod Agrippa, New Testament character, they got up in the congregation and they got to reading, who is this that coming from Edom with his garment dyed red, and Agrippa kind of got offended, and all the so-called Jews was in there because they loved Agrippa and they supported him. It was like, no, Agrippa, that ain't about you. That's our brother, you know. That don't mean you, you know, but the same spirit that was back then has been brought up to today, right? Agrippa was an Edomite. Yeah, it was talking about him. But when he read that scripture, they said he wept. And this is in the book Claudius the God. Right? That's where you can find that information. But yeah, that same spirit that was back then, we got it today.
Right. Nothing new under the sun, man. Nothing new under the sun.
You might ever bring out this Revelation 2 for you.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, and verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, that he is referring to the he of Israel, man. To the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received from my Father. So there again, man, if all nations were created equal, man, then who is he going to give us power? Who is he talking to here, man? He's talking to Israel. You know what I'm saying? He of Israel to overcome, man. Keep his works, man, his commandments, faith in his son, Mashiach Yahushua. We're going to get powers to rule over these other nations.
That's right.
We're going to have them, just like our Gideon was bringing out, man. We're going to have them in hardcore bondage, man, for a period of 1,000 years. I mean, after that, the other nations, aside from Esau, are going to be released, go back to their own lands. We still going to be ruling over them, but Esau is going to be completely destroyed, man. Go back to the top of the class. How did God create all people equal? That contradicts what's written in the scriptures, man.
Contradicts.
Yeah, we know the Most High is not the author of confusion, man. So he ain't gonna on one hand say he made all people equal. Then on the other hand, you know, Yahushua is telling us, because this is written in red, that he that overcomes is gonna be given powers over the nations, man. So the Most High and the Son Yahushua, man, they on the same one accord, man, same mind.
And now that you mention that too, man, just not to get too far off topic, man, but like you said, Yahushua and the Most High on one accord, because you got people who teach that Yahushua was Isaac, right?
Yeah.
You got Camp that teach Yahushua was Isaac. But Isaac loved Esau, didn't he? So you mean to tell me, hold on now. So you mean to tell me if Yahushua was Isaac, when he was on this earth as Isaac, he loved Esau? I thought him and the father on one accord. That would make no sense, you know, because we don't believe that Yahushua was Isaac or Solomon. We don't teach that here. You know what I'm saying? Cause it just ain't lining up and making sense when it comes to the scriptures, man. Cause you saying Yahushua was Isaac when he was on the earth before, you know what I'm saying? You saying that he loved Esau makes no sense. When we know the father said he hated Esau. So why would Yahushua come to this earth as Isaac and love Esau? Makes no sense.
That would mean, man, Yahushua, man, he came down. if he was in them other incarnations, man, he came down, it was like rebellious, man.
He was rebellious in every one of his lives, except when he was Yahweh.
Except for when he came to Yahweh, man. What purpose would he have to come as Isaac, man?
I guess when he was King Solomon, man, he came and said, man, all those women out there looking good, man. I'm finna go get me, hey, man, look, hey, I'm finna go get me 1,000 of them, man. Like, nah, man.
Yeah,
and then when you read Isaiah, like it said, like you had brought out one time before, it said his soul was offering, man. So in order for his soul, his spirit to be offered, it had to be without blemish. So how did he come in all these other lives and had all these blemishes, all this sin on him? But then his soul, he came as Yahweh, and all of a sudden his soul is offered up for a sacrifice without blemish. It made no sense.
Yeah, well, I guess when Abraham was told to take him up, man, he was gonna sacrifice Isaac. I guess they get that he might be Yahweh, man. He's gonna be reborn back as Yahweh. That made absolutely no sense, man. That Esau was his favorite, man. I mean, Isaac, man. That don't make sense.
But yeah, man, if y'all brothers ain't got nothing else y'all want to bring out, man, we can get ready to close it up.
Man, just going into what Kazaki brought out, though, man. Even within Israel, man. Even all Israelites wasn't, created the same, man. Like when Yahweh Shah was speaking to the masses, man, and he was speaking to them in parable, and his disciples came to ask him, why he speak to the people in parable. I'm just roughly paraphrasing. And he said, because to his disciples is given to them to know the mystery of the kingdom of heaven, but to the masses is not given, man. So even right there, man, because we know Yahweh Shah, when he came, he taught who? He taught Israel, man. Even right there, man, we know that not all Israelites were created differently, man. Then I brought out about them being given 12 thrones, man, to judge the 12 tribes of Israel, man. So right there, even within Israel, man, not all Israel was created equal, man. That's all I got out.
All right. So Zach, you and Yeshua, you got something y'all want to bring out for you in class?
Just to back up what Ezekiel was saying, that he didn't Yahweh didn't he didn't create all of Israel equal. In fact, in Deuteronomy 7:7 said that he only loves a small percentage of a very few. He said that the Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in numbers than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. So it's only a few of us that he do love. And it goes on to say, but because the Lord loves you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your father, has the Lord brought you out of the mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. So again, it's just a small percentage of, you know what I'm saying? It's not just because a lot of people may look at our skin color and be like, you know what I'm saying? If you black, then you automatic Israelite. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? We all do face different challenges in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because of our skin tone, but we are all not the same people. Just like the ones that's over there in the land right now, they're not our people, but they think that they are, but they not. What you got about?
You know what's funny about what you just said, Yeshua? About those people in the line thinking that they say they us. And we'll do a class on it later on, man. But it's funny, man. It's open AI. But even Chat GPT know that they're not the people,
man. Damn. Yeah, the AI know a lot now. I'm telling you. All you gotta do is ask. People don't know.
When you strip away all this religious bias, man, that they taught us over here, man, strip away your personal opinions, feelings, and emotions and stuff like that. Because people love to get in their feelings, man. When you see something, it's their religion, man. When you strip that away, man, and read in context, and precept upon precept what the Bible is saying, it's funny how you get some understanding now. And even the open AI, now, I'm not saying it's perfect. There's some things that goes off on, but even it knows that the people in the land are not
exactly. Cause all you gotta do is just research it, like type it in, and it picture pop right up. It will.
Yep.
The
Picture pop right on up.
The true people.
Even that you said what now?
The true people are identified through the curses, man. That's on us, bro. And those curses
look like Jesus too.
Over there in our land, man.
Yeah.
Right now, when you say precept upon precept too, man, we want our people to know it. Make sure it's in context when it's precept upon precept. Some people just go find a precept just because it got the same word in that one as the other scripture that they just read, and they try to match it with that precept when it has totally nothing to do with the precept that they just read. So precept upon precept in context. In context, that's the key when reading the Bible. And also said line upon line. People forget that. You know what I'm saying? They don't go line upon line. They just hurry up and just read this precept, just hurry up and go to another precept. No, man, you got to make sure you breaking it down and you getting a full understanding line upon line too before you go run and jump to another precept. Make sure you understand the context of what you read. You will be breaking these scriptures down wrong, man. That's just facts. With that, you know what I'm saying? We hope, you know what I'm saying, our people were edified. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got any questions, man, leave it on the comment board. Y'all got any topic that y'all want brothers to do, man? We got brothers here that gladly speak on, gladly do a class on the topic that y'all might have questions to. And y'all can reach us. Y'all want to send us an email, y'all can email us at this email account right here. Y'all want to email us. And we're gonna continue to try to bring these classes out, you know what I'm saying, continue to edify our people to the best of our ability, continue to try to make sure we breaking these scriptures down right so we can give our people the correct understanding of what this Bible is saying. And if we see something later on, you know what I'm saying, down the line that we might have taught wrong, we will correct it and bring out, you know what I'm saying, the right understanding, because we're not prideful here. We can't be like Christians when you come into this truth. Because a lot of people come into this truth, they get indoctrinated. And then when they get indoctrinated, you can clearly show them something that they was taught was wrong, but they don't want to accept it when you clearly show them. Because they, just like Christians, Christians do the same thing. They've been indoctrinated with Christianity so long, and now we showing them something that they was taught is wrong and pulling out scripture to prove it. They don't accept it. So when you come into this truth, you can't be like that. You somebody showing you wrong, or you error, or you going off in a specific topic or verse, and you know what I'm saying, just go over it, you know what I'm saying, pray to the Lord for understanding, and then you know what I'm saying, just teach it the right way. That's all you gotta do. What's so hard about that? I was wrong sometimes, wrong on some things before, you know what I'm saying. I admit, hey man, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying, I broke that down wrong, you know what I'm saying, this is the correct understanding. Ain't nothing hard about that unless you are a prideful person and want to be looked at this all-knowing God, this all-knowing person that can never do no wrong, man. All of us made mistakes, and what we got to do, we made no mistakes, just correct those mistakes. So we here at SOG, man, we're going to do our best to give you the correct doctrine to the best of our ability with the Lord dealing with us and showing us through these scriptures, man. And with that, you know what I'm saying, we'll probably be doing a class this upcoming Sabbath, we'll see. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.